The main event. This is what we all waited
Monster
for.
Hunter
This
Rise
whole
is
show.
the main event.
The main event is the latest Kemco RPG, which we talked about how to pronounce this prior to the show. It is spelt. I'm reading
Don't
it as
spell it out. Just say it. Just say
I'm
it.
reading
Don't
it as
caveat.
Sword of Elpisia is how I believe.
I believe you said
said
Alpizia.
I said Alpizia first. I believe it's probably Sword of Elpisia, not Sword of Elpisia, which when you go to read it, and every time I go to write it, I write it as Elpisia. But anyway, Sword of Elpisia. So we ranked 36 of the Go games last week, which I don't blame anyone for seeing that show up in their feed and going, nope.
Nope. Yeah, I think we lost
Unsubscribe.
like 30 subs from that. So, but that's all
totally. So this was the game that came out a couple of days prior to that. I've now since played it. So we will at the end add that to the big tier list. So this is made by EXE-CREATE, the prolific developer of most of Kemco games. I'm playing it on Xbox. It's also on PC, but it will likely release on PlayStation, Switch, I'd say in a couple of months. But at the moment, it's only on Xbox and PC. And no, the game does not begin by panning across the overworld like vast majority of the EXE-CREATE games in our footage for the tier list last week. So what I'm going to do is I talked about the difficulty during the tier list of trying to review an EXE-CREATE game because so much of what I want to talk about is assuming that people know the basics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of split this up into two sections. Like a general overview of the game, there's more suited to people that have no idea what the game is. And then sort of the new stuff that people that are fans of these kind of games are probably looking to hear of what's different about this one. So Sword of Elpisia is, if you haven't guessed by now, is a turn-based RPG. It's very story-heavy, lots of dialogue. You have 3 party members, although there are actually 4 main characters. Normally there's 4 party members, and that's because one of your characters turns into a sword. So technically they're in the battle, but it's basically she turns into a sword, so there's only 3 characters. And that's actually a huge part of the storyline, and honestly, I'll get to the story in a second. The battle system is fairly standard JRPG stuff, but includes lots of quality of life features. So this is not unique to this game, but it's just for people that are not aware of what these games are. So a lot of these games are like auto battle, 3 times speed, repeat action kind of stuff. They're games that you play through in that kind of way, just because that's the fun way to play these games. Honestly, they're not slow games in any way. You auto win weak battles, kind of like Earthbound, which
I like that feature in Earthbound.
So that's featuring all these games as well. So basically, you enter the battle, bang, you win if you're over leveled, so you don't have to go through that. And it makes progression a breeze. And when you enter a new area, a lot of these games, including this one, have what's called, I call it like a beacon, but in this game they actually name it as an attraction tube. And it's like this thing that you basically go to at the start of the area. You can set the encounter rate, you can set it to half, but then you can fight a whole bunch of battles in a row. So you can go, okay, I'm going to grind out everything. I talked about this last week, but obviously
is this like every tile you move, you'll encounter something? No,
well, that's a specific item that you can usually find, which is in this game as well. But the game is incredibly formulaic. You know, generally you'll go to a town, it'll say, hey, you need to go to this area, you go there, you complete it, go back to the town, move on to the next town. It's very tropey and everything like that. But sometimes that's what you want these games for. You want that classic structure and formula. In addition to the main quest, there are lots of side quests and missions are generally things that will refresh daily, so that you get cool rewards that allow you to unlock stuff in the in-game shop and stuff like that. There's a reward system that, if you've opened 100 chests or killed 200 enemies, you unlock like the different tiles on the board, kind of like Smash Brothers, where you complete stuff and then you move on to another board and stuff. There's like a weapon and armor synthesis system. Again, like not unique. This is in most of their games, but basically allows you pick up a whole amount of junk. You go, okay, I want to strengthen my main weapon, bulk select all the junk, and it adds to the stats of your main weapon and carries across abilities and stuff. And in terms of the story, this is actually one of the best EXE-CREATE stories that they've done, I think. It gets a little carried away, but it's actually a really, really fun story. the characters are really cool in this one. Like I was shocked. I was expecting almost like another run-of-the-mill, like your Wizards of Brandel or Sea Carts or Liege Dragon. We talked about last week. They're all kind of like low-tier Kemco games. But
There's
really,
quite a lot of those.
yeah, but really funny interactions, and that's why I actually enjoy these games for. As much as obviously I do play them for achievements, and I like just sitting down and relaxing. They often have really funny reactions, and there's a lot of also heartfelt moments. And you know that the mileage on that is going to vary between people how much they enjoy that.
Yeah.
But it's actually really cool. And graphically, this is the last thing I'll say before I get to like the Kemco fan related stuff. Like Chroma Quaternion, one of them, also the newer Kemco games, EXE-CREATE games, this here has much more of a pixelized 16-bit look. And so it doesn't have that weird, like, cookie cutter, almost crisp look of a lot of the other games. So it actually looks quite nice. And even the sprites have angled animations. So, you know, 8-way animation, like normally a lot of these Kemco games, you'll just move like up, down, left, right, and that's your character sprites. Your characters can go on an angle, and so in the conversations, there's lots of conversations in this game. Your characters will be standing on an angle towards each other, so it actually looks better. I think they're actually taking inspiration, or they're maybe feeling a bit by Hit Point, the other Kemco developer that does a lot better sprite work, and their games generally look a lot better.
Even on the SNES, like it wasn't all 8-way. Like a lot of them were 4-way.
No, yeah. So it looks really cool, but I'll just now
I'm now getting nervous for all these EXE-CREATE. I find it funny how much I know about this since doing the tier list now. But I do feel nervous for these EXE-CREATE games. You know, could this be the top tier of the? This is a secondary tier list, actually, isn't it?
The EXE-CREATE tier. I'll get to that in a sec. I just want to talk about what, for anyone that's checking this out that knows Kemco games, I just want to talk about what's different, because there's actually a lot in this game. So in battles, you can actually equip 3 different weapons. Normally it's just like one weapon. You can actually equip 3 different weapons, and it ties into, there's a storyline reason for it, and each of them have their own skills. So it's very different from other games that I've played by them. There's a pet system, like partner animals. Now, they've kind of dabbled in this stuff with some of the other games they released on Xbox, but it's quite tied into battles, but I honestly didn't use it that much. But the biggest change, and I was kind of really taken aback by this. So in the tier list video, I criticized that these games just have dungeons that are just mazes. You just walk around. There's not much interactivity. You might hit switches or grab keys and everything. Yeah. They actually tried in this one. They actually tried. There are like tools and items called search items that basically, as you walk around, you unlock them through progression, where you might unlock a lamp or a bomb, and you actually like explore the area using these items in the environment and doing things. I'm like, whoa, what is EXE-CREATE doing?
It's like proper games.
It is actually like a game. So they put so much more effort into this, and there's, in terms of like actually like, it just makes things more enjoyable to explore and everything. But the quality of life, this is probably what some people are wanting to hear. They added some really cool stuff in. So normally the way that these games work is you'll have side quests that pop up in towns, and you have to, at some point, the side quests will only be available after certain story events. So you constantly go around to different events trying to find towns, trying to find where these side quests are. Now they actually flat out tell you where they are on like the list of locations. So the quality of life is so good.
Like a marker, a way marker or something?
Yeah, so you have a list of locations you can fast warp to from the overworld, and it will say, this has got a quest, go there. So it's really, really good, especially for people that love just, grinding through and playing through quickly. And you can warp straight to the quest givers, and it's honestly they put these little touches are what make the difference between these games, and they put a lot into this one. Like I talked about the search tools, they actually list on the locations what areas have those areas you can go back to, almost like a Metroidvania. Like, I got that in a later area, I need to go back to early areas to get items, because now I have the ability to throw a rope to climb up that cave or something. But yeah, look, overall, cool story, fun characters, but I guess it's time. Let's bring up the tier list and see where Sword of Elpisia ranks against our other Kemco games. So for anybody that missed it, this is the Kemco tier list from last week. It took us 2 hours to come up with. It was hell, but it was fun hell.
Do you want to put a link to that video? Maybe we can even do.
I've already done it.
Oh, okay. Maybe we can
Already
do
done.
the timestamps on this specific video on YouTube when we publish it.
So EXE-CREATE games are coloured in green in this tier list. So you can see the quality difference between the other two developers, which is Hit Point in blue and Ridian in orange. This is easily one of the best EXE-CREATE games.
Before
I've
you
played.
ruin it, could this be the first A tier? Could this be the first A tier?
Well, it has amazing quality of life. It has improvements to dungeon design. I mentioned they actually put effort in. They actually tried. Sword of Elpisia is an A tier
A tier.
game.
Whoa. Is it top of the A tier?
It's not top of the A tier. That joke is left last week, please. I reckon this is the best EXE-CREATE game I've played.
Wow.
Maybe not everyone's going to agree. It's one of the games, like, as I said, I love the story, love the characters. They tried. This is going. Oh, I should actually control this. Shouldn't
Yeah,
I?
you can control this.
I forgot I need to do this. I'm going to chuck it in. It's gonna go at the end of the A.
The end of
right
the
there.
A. That's good.
So, Sword of Elpisia,
Nice.
I really recommend it. I especially for Kemco fans, I think it's going to surprise them. So
Big thumbs up. Wow, look at that. That's I'm impressed. We've finally got an EXE-CREATE game in the A tier.
we do, and the next game comes out on the 20th,
Far out.
20th of January. It's a double drop this month. 2 Kemco games.
Double
And
Ds.
this is the RP Golf Legends, the game. So
The worst name.
different developer completely. The developer's called ArcticNet. So I have no idea what to expect from this.
New color. New color. We need now.
And yes, we will need a 4th color. And guess what? The next Kemco game after that comes out 2 weeks later on the 4th of January from EXE-CREATE.
4th of January, did you say?
Sorry, February. And guess what?
is it?
It's EXE-CREATE, but
Oh, okay.
I said it, but you missed it. It is 3D, so I'm very worried.
So we could have
Because-
another F tier game.
because the lowest game on the F tier is also their only other 3D game. So that game's called Ambition Records. So I hope they've got their ambition in check.
Oh, very good. Very well done. All right. So I'm fearing what we've done, what we've started here. The fact that we've added to this tier list.
It's good. Look, this is going to come up at least once a month, and so it's just going to happen to be it's a double drop this month.
I might need to take a screenshot of this so then you can link to it on other platforms. Post it on bigwigpog.com/tier list or something like that. Okay, very good, Swinny. It's good to see. Good to see the official
Are you sick of
Kemco
hearing?
RPG tier list is live.
Are you sick of hearing the words A Kemco and B EXE-CREATE yet?
No. I'm very unfamiliar with the whole thing, so
Oh.
it's been fine. I'm glad to see, an EXE-CREATE. They've had so many opportunities to have A and S tier games. So
I wonder, you might be the most knowledgeable person in the world about Kemco that's never played a Kemco game.
Oh,
now.
I
think,
definitely-
I
Well,
think you
ooh.
might hold that title.
I disagree. And you know who would be? The poor slobs who work on these games who don't play them. You know what I mean? Like someone in the
okay.
marketing department or something like that.
Okay, all right.
That's a good answer, right? That's a good answer.
Not counting those
You have to
people.
admit, that's a good answer.
Yeah, that's a cheap way.
Okay,
out.
so someone who's not paid to make these games, not involved in getting paid to make these games, I am certainly the preeminent worldwide legend status expert.
Connoisseur.
of Kemco RPGs. Although I think if you did ask me name the names of the games, I'd be struggling.
Oh,
I'd try to guess a bunch of As Divine ones. As Divine Hearts, As Divine this, As Divine Wind, or I can't even remember what they were actually called.
you need to go back to watch the whole 2-hour tier list
I'll
again.
do that. Yeah, that's gonna happen for sure. For sure.
Support our channel.
Yeah, I will. All right, well, that rounds us out for the show.